Welcome to another episode of Lost Mine of Phandelver Villains, in which we're going to talk about Halia Thornton. You're watching Lutes and Dice, and I'm your bard, Folgard. Halia Thornton is a guildmaster in Phandelver Miners' Exchange, but she is secretly an agent of the Zentarim, also known as a Black Network. She is described as an ambitious and calculating woman, and the book says that she is working slowly to bring Phandelver under her control. I remember when I got myself the starter set and read the adventure as a new DM. I thought that Halia was one of the most difficult NPCs to understand and roleplay. I think it was because she's in this gray area, not quite a villain, but also not a good person. And for me as a beginner, things like that were pretty challenging, because if you're inconfident and unfamiliar with the game, it's far easier to have things under control when it's all black and white. So in my performance, Halia was a suspicious-looking quest giver. Players could instantly tell that she's up to no good, and didn't even want to have anything to do with her beyond cautiously accepting the quest to bring down Jarno Albrecht. But as I grew as a DM and new players around me wanted to try out D&D, I would revisit Lost Mine of Phandelver. And having learned from mistakes of previous runs, I would enhance my NPCs each time. And after about 5 runs with 5 different parties, this is what my Halia Thornton came to be, and these are my thoughts on her role throughout the adventure. She's a young woman around 30 years old with a pretty face, almost childish. Halia is down to earth, reasonably polite and friendly. She seems to care about the people she works with, and what's more important, she seems to really care about the town of Phandelver. She says that it hurts her to see them struggle because of the outlaws and because of the inability of Harbin Wester to end the disorder in town. There's a quest in a book called Halia's Job Offer, where she basically offers the party 100 gold pieces to eliminate Red Brand leader, whom the outlaws call Glassstaff. But she doesn't want them to kill a lot of bandits because she secretly wants to take over the Red Brand operation herself. So in order to deliver her wish without raising suspicions, Halia can indicate that a lot of these bandits are just kids with lack of guidance. They certainly don't deserve to die just because they've made a couple of wrong decisions in life. They were trying to survive in a frontier settlement like this, too far from the safety of Neverwinter. Of course, more foul members of the gang have made terrible things, but the most dangerous man is the one who's in charge, Glassstaff. And even with him, Halia can pretend to be super gracious and ask to simply catch and imprison Jarno, stating that Phandelver has known too much bloodshed already. But you need to be careful not to overdo this. Too much sane talk can be just as suspicious. So her ultimate goal is to take over the town, but in order to understand why, we have to understand the Zentarim. What exactly is going on? The Zentarim is a shadow network that seeks to expand its influence and power throughout the Forgotten Realms. The public face of the Black Network appears relatively benign. It offers the best and cheapest goods and services, thus destroying its competitors and making everyone dependent on it. So at least that is what Halia wants. The region used to be rich with precious metals and gemstones before the orcs came. The town might have a potential to regain former glory, and Zentarim can enrich itself significantly if it will have a freedom to organize all kinds of shady deals within this business. Halia can also have ambitions of her own, you can consider that. You can easily make her be driven by some sort of inner motivation. Maybe to outplay her rival, to gain enough power to overthrow some authority within the ranks of Zentarim. Maybe she knows about the Phandelver mine and wants to claim the Forge of Spells, either for herself or for her superiors. As soon as Jarno is out of the way, you can go wherever you want from there with Halia. Depending on her motivations, she can choose to either try and replace Harbin Wester in his mayor position, or to work from the shadows and have him as her pawn. At this point, Halia can also offer one of the player characters to join the Zentarim, if she thinks they can be the right candidate. She might not use the name of the organization, instead calling it working for her for a while. And only after that PC will have proven worthy to her, she might slip a word family. You watch out for the family and it watches out for you. Basically, the amount of conspiracy is up to you. You can think of it like mafia, and in that case, can you imagine a member of organized crime saying to somebody, "Hey, do you want to work for mafia?" That's just not right. But it might not be the case with Zentarim. Maybe it's like a name of a corporation and there's nothing wrong with saying it out loud, while the Black Network is more of an inside term. So in this second case, Halia can openly offer to join the Zentarim, describing it as a trading and mercenary company, as the characters would likely know already. And only later they will start to realize that the rumors about the Zents are probably true. She can pay them generously for some simple innocent job or two, but then she might ask to deliver a special message to somebody, maybe to an NPC friend of that character. Anyway, doing business with the Zhentarim kind of exceeds the scope of this video, so if you want to hear more about that, leave a comment down below. Now, as a bonus, I will share a couple of stories involving Halia Thornton from my games. In one of my games, the players were Harpers, and they have played a couple of other adventures before going to Phandelver. They've actually accidentally helped Gundren find the map at some point. During their travels, they've had an encounter or two with the Zeds, and they've earned some renown, so Halia already heard about them. And she knew they were not a Zhentarim material, so she initially was going to get rid of them. She had learned that they were looking for a stolen dragon egg. Don't ask, it was the mix of different stories. And she had posted a message on the town hall that heroes are needed to retrieve the dragon egg from the ruined tower in Thundertree. And my players thought, hey, we found an egg. Of course, the only thing waiting for them in that tower was a dragon. Anyway, sometime later, Halia had claimed control over the Red Brands, reorganizing them into blue cloaks. Then she decided to go public and accused Wester of conspiring with Yarno, and had them both hanged on the gallows. She started rebuilding Tresendar Manor and moved her office there. Eventually, through struggle, planning and fighting, the players found out who she was and threw her into the dungeon, not without the help of authorities from Neverwinter. Halia feared that she will be questioned with the Zone of Truth spell, just like her brother a couple of months ago. Again, that's a different story. And having lost her final hopes of escaping, she had drunk a hidden poison, thus taking her life. In another game, which is a solo campaign that I run for my friend, his character, Denethor, had joined the Zhentarim. He did some work for Halia, making good money, and he started trusting her. At some point, she learned all about the Phandelver and the map. She was trying to come to an agreement with Gundren, but they didn't get along for some reason. When Denethor came by one day, he had learned that Gundren was dead. He was really shocked, but Halia kept telling him that she did it for the safety of the family, and Denethor has nothing to worry about as long as he is a part of that family. By that point, he realized the benefits that come with a membership have their price, but for now he still works for Halia. And that's it about today's villain. Tell me about your experience with Halia Thornton, share your D&D stories, ask questions, and I will definitely answer them. And of course, there's more to come, so stay tuned for the next video.